And good morning from Scotty Ray and Candace, and she's Easter egg blue.
Yeah, I am. It looks a little more blue on the screen, but look, I got the big hair going on this morning.
Oh, yeah, I don't see big hair. It is Good Friday. We welcome you. We hope your morning is going well. I reported earlier this morning of an accident on Highway 494. If you take a left off of Highway 19 there at the fire station and then go toward Newton County, this is where the wreck is. And let's pull up on radar and show you the street where this is. As we look at this, you go through, Little Rock is sitting here before you get right there. This is Highway 19 if you were to turn off at Sicalina and come across. When you get into Newton County, this is going to be where Hopewell Road comes in to Highway 494. Right here is where the accident is. It's reported that there's injuries, and at this point, that's all I know. That's just a few miles before you get to Little Rock, and from my understanding, the road is blocked from the accident. You can't pass. Okay. So if you have to get to work, there may be another trail that I'm not aware of. I guess you could have to go down through here and come across to go around that, another route there if you travel that. As we get details on that this morning, we'll pass that along to you. But we hope all is well, that it's not horrible, but injuries are being reported.
Yeah, we definitely hope that they're going to be okay.
All right, you got your Easter eggs ready, all dyed and ready to go for Sunday?
I have not dyed any eggs. I don't really do the dyeing of the egg. It's just such a mess.
I know, but
we might do it tonight.
That's a part of being a kid. Now,
I know we might do it tonight. But,
where you dip them together and you do all the fun stuff.
You know the easy thing? You know the little whisk things?
No, I don't.
They're those metal things. They're called a whisk. You can buy them like cheap at the dollar store. You know.
What do you do with them?
You put the egg in the center of them because it's like it makes like a little cage around the egg. Because it's just easier to do because it's so hard on a spoon to try to dip them down in there when you got a toddler or a small child.
They come with a little metal rod that you put the egg on and drop it down. It
does, but it depends on how sturdy of a hand you got, if it's going to just splat in the thing. But anyway, you can put the egg in the middle of the little whisk things, and the whisk have a handle. You just dip them down in there.
Didn't know that.
And they won't go, So you can also let them dry in there or whatever.
What would I use a whisk for if I were to be using?
When you're whisking up like scrambled eggs.
I use a fork.
Well, you can use a fork. Yeah, no, a lot of people use a fork, but you can use a whisk.
I just have never used one. I'm slowly learning.
It's a little tip, if you have a small child and you don't want to have just a super big mess.
That makes sense. Yeah. That can happen. Let's see what the temperature is now. We started out this morning. It didn't get near as cold as expected earlier. We were expecting about 29 to 30. 34 was about as cold as it got here. Now, Louisville got down to about 32 the closer you got to Starkville. Cooler there. Right now we've warmed up to 42, so the frost is starting to die off and go away. But it's not over. We've got one more chance of this tonight. So don't forget that as you taking care of your plants and whatnot. Let me see if I can show you the coverage area for tonight. Yeah, this is what we're looking at here. This area here, the northeastern, the majority of Lauderdale County, only the southwest corner is not included. Northeastern Clark County, all of Kemper, the majority of Neshoba County, all of Winston, Neshoba up through here. A lighter chance here in the yellow area from there back to Jackson, but possibly 31 degrees tonight is what we're looking at. Possibly. It didn't do it last night.
Leave all my stuff covered up.
So, ain't going to hurt to wait one more day.
Yeah.
But roughly a week of sunshine in store for us, so maybe, just maybe with the wind blowing today, that it'll dry some things out.
Yeah, I'm hoping. We're supposed to go get pine straw tomorrow.
What you going to do with that?
Put it all in my flower bed.
Okay.
I use pine straw, but yeah. Got like 15 bales of pine straw to pick up tomorrow, so Lord. Anyway.
Oh, I sure like having a yard that doesn't have pine trees and I have to rake every year.
I used to rake my own pine straw up, but I mean, that's not really, if you keep the grass cut underneath before it falls, it's easy. But, and two snakes, I just ain't getting down there with snakes. I used to do it all the time, though, and it didn't faze me, but I don't know.
I remember them days of that. But if you're tired of raking, go buy a house with no trees. It's really simple after the wind blows. I'm telling y'all.
I would imagine so.
Find you the nearest cow pasture, and you too will be happy. As we start today, let's see here. Y'all remember Emmylou Harris? Mm-hmm. She is celebrating, believe it or not, her 74th birthday today.
Goodness.
Whoa, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
What was it, 2 More Bottles of Wine? Uh-huh. That was her big song. Buddy Jewell, do y'all remember him?
I do.
Helped pour out the rain in the song about his little girl or his little boy riding in the truck.
I
Where
do
angels.
remember. Yeah.
He is celebrating a 60th birthday. If that don't make you feel old. He came with Asleep at the Wheel to Meridian for the Jimmy Rogers Festival. At that point in time, I was a board member. And I remember he performed, and then the storm hit. One lightning bolt hit, and their contract said that they didn't have to perform. If it lightened, Asleep at the Wheel got on the bus and drove off into the sunset.
Oh, my goodness.
They got paid
I bet
for
there's
nothing.
some disappointed people.
It was. Cost a lot of money for that.
Oh, yeah.
But they were off and gone, but that was the contract, and that's what it said. Billy Dean. You remember Billy the Kid?
Yeah, I do.
59.
Time just flies by. Look, I ran in the grocery store yesterday and saw somebody that I know, and she goes, "How old are your kids now?" And when I told her 25, one's supposed to be 23, and she said, "Shut up." They are not. I said, "Yes, they are." And she said, "I was thinking you were going to say 12 and 15 and no."
Old fogey.
I'm
right
telling
here.
you, time. I said, you just feel like as you get older, you don't realize, but it does seem like it flies by when you sit there and think of it. But you still think that everybody ought to just be the same age as they were,
Well, it's just like watching television. After you see reruns after a while, you have a certain age of an actor that's like forever frozen in time. And then when you see them later, it spooks you. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
I don't know you.
I know.
But,
I know.
like we showed the pictures of Dick Van Dyke, 95 years old. Can you believe that?
I know, but yeah, I'm like I said yesterday. I mean, it'd be nice to be able to live a full life like that, though. To where you can still function and do things and help people and stuff like that at that age. That'd be nice.
And Candace, there will be a generation that will not be tortured by Bob Newhart not being funny.
Oh.
Y'all-
I really didn't ever think he was that funny.
I know, and they had him on when we were all kids, they had him as a main star, and he was not funny. I guess,
Newhart, they had a show called Newhart, didn't they?
Yeah, and I guess the best that he was he on Wings or one of those shows also as a father-in-law at one time?
Seems like he was.
Wings was pretty funny.
Yeah, I did watch that, yeah.
And that went away. I didn't like Taxi. Do you remember that show?
I didn't really watch it, but like people in my family had it on, when it came on. But
it didn't turn me on. I was more into Wonder Woman and also The Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, me too.
So
I always watch that.
Down memory lane of those TV shows, and MeTV has a lot of great ones. If you like old shows, they got something for you. Let's see, it was 1956. I wasn't around for this, but Johnny Cash was getting ready to walk into a studio today and record "I Walk the Line."
Okay.
Pretty neat little thing back in
That
time.
is.
Let's see, back in '92. You remember the crime boss, John Gotti?
Uh-huh.
He was convicted of murder. One of the first people with the crime, the mafia, that ever went to jail. He did. He would later in the late 90s or 2000s pass away while in prison. 05, Pope John Paul passed away. That really hadn't been that long ago, but I had totally forgotten about that.
Yeah.
And then one big day, none of us here was here, but 1513, Ponce de Leon proclaimed Florida down there for Spain.
Okay.
You remember studying that in high school,
I do.
don't you?
I remember studying. I don't remember that much about it because, like I said, history was not my.
And you have to remember who discovered the Mississippi River, because they'd go, how do you remember DeSoto discovered the Mississippi River?
Yeah.
In case you wanted to know that.
You must have been really into history.
Loved it.
It was not my thing. It did not hold my attention. I just couldn't.
Well, you learn from your past is the way I've always done it. And it depends on who your history teacher is, too, is if they make it interesting or not.
Right. If it's now, I loved my history teacher, though.
Some teachers have a way of painting a picture for you, and you live that moment. I always got into that.
Yeah. My 11th grade year, it was Mr. Thompson. He's passed away now, but he was a really great teacher. Now, he was one of those teachers who he could just tell you what page to turn to and what paragraph, and he could sit there and quote it. I mean, he knew it front and back. But it was just a hard class for me. I don't know.
I get that.
That and algebra was not my thing.
I was hard. I got the highest I made it in high school was pre-algebra, and I squeaked out of there with a D, and it was pretty horrible. I'm not going to lie.
Too. Now, geometry, you'd think that I wouldn't be good at that either because math just was not my thing, but I guess because you draw, and I love to draw. Maybe that's why, I don't know, I come out of there with a B, I think. So
That's not bad.
Yeah.
B is pretty good for something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I never made it that high in all of that. I tried. The mathematics was tough on me.
If I could go back, I might do better. I
think?
guess so. I know when I went to college back in, I guess it was in '07 I went back. I did really good because I really tried and I felt accomplished when I got done, with the things that I had taken, the classes.
I've always heard that once you start paying for something, you do a whole lot better as an adult.
Well, yeah, you got to, try your best. But
yeah.
English, I did really good, I thought, in English. Writing papers and stuff. I always
Now, most people know my mom was an English teacher, and it absolutely bored me to death. And
Really?
diagramming a sentence, oh my gosh. But, I am not the greatest at the writing sentences now, and it shows.
Yeah. I loved to write essays. Now, a lot of people hate stuff like that. As long as it was something that I could choose to write about or something like that, So
There you go.
Yeah.
Candace's pastime hobbies.
It is.
You can also
Now
learn
y'all
from
are
all of that.
educated on my education.
Let's see. This weekend, of course, this is Good Friday. Thank y'all for watching. We want to say good morning to Elmer Talbert watching. Also, Sue Hamner from T-Town. We appreciate that. Also, Donna Sue Pebbles. He has risen, she says. And that is what this is all about. We want y'all to remember that. If you get a chance Sunday morning, make your way on down and try to make it a weekly habit if you can. If you need a church, don't have one, post it here. We'll find you one where you live by that some good folks to go to church with.
Yes.
That makes sense. Let's see here. What is going on today? I mentioned this earlier. I teased this. We all love pets, and I think most people that watch this show are like you and I on that. But this was the German Shepherd that these people tried to kill. They tied him in a river with a huge rock, and somebody came along in the nick of time and found this little pup here.
That is just horrible. People are just evil.
It is.
That is horrible. Thank goodness somebody found him.
This was in the Trent River Trent. Yeah, and late January is where they fall. And, it was cold on top of that.
Yeah.
So
no wonder the poor little thing made it.
Yeah. But that's him there when he was pinned down. They took pictures of it as she was pulling him out. And they got him to the rock there. And, of course, he was bad. And they took him on to the vet, tried to warm him up. It was bad cold out there.
Exhausted, too, probably.
And that's the cops, if they were called. They've got the rock there. I don't know that they ever caught who did it. Probably will never catch them. But a sad state there that even goes through somebody's mind to hurt.
Oh, I know.
Hurt someone like that. I was going to find another story. Let me find here if I can come up on. Yeah, here it is. We told you about this story 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
This is a cop that they showed the video of the cop picking up the dog by his leash.
You thought that it might have been like they were training the dog or something.
That's it. There, he picked him up by his neck, threw him in the car. He's had to resign over the situation. You don't train dogs that way.
No, that is horrible.
So North Carolina took care of that, but that's where that was. And that just goes to show that a lot of people mistreat animals.
Well, just like the White House dog that's like he's bit 2 people,
Right.
How do you know what he went through before he got to where he was?
Yeah.
I mean, when it's a rescue dog, you don't have any idea what they've been through, so.
And it just, whoever's walking him needs to just kind of hold him a little bit tighter there when he gets frisky.
Yeah.
Or take him to a little area there that ain't nobody at the White House. I'm sure there's enough pasture room out there to do something. It ain't like you can sneak in there and get close to anybody in the White House. We all know that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They get a little vicious over that. You cross that fence there. The trial goes on this week for George Floyd. Yesterday, the girlfriend broke down in court. I was not even, I hadn't paid enough attention. I didn't even realize he had a girlfriend during all this.
I didn't either.
But here she is. She broke down on the stand there talking about him, what he went through and all. So that's in headlines with that. Seems like there's another story floating around about that also. Yeah. They had the medic there yesterday, and he goes through the thing how he said he could still feel a pulse once the cop got off of his neck. And then they go through that where he tried to resuscitate him once he got to the inside the ambulance. And that's him there on the stretcher, still handcuffed. And they put him in there, and they actually, after they got him in, They uncuffed him, and then I think that's when all the process
Yeah.
started. But there's a lot of video that has not been shown on this up until right now, slowly coming out.
Right. And I think too, a lot of things. Well, what they're concentrating on too is that the cop did not even try to revive him after he knew that he was not
Yeah.
conscious. You know, that was what he was supposed to do as a cop. They said is to try to revive him.
Yeah, you're
And he
there to
didn't.
serve and to protect,
Right.
regardless whether you're accused of a crime or not. You can't put someone's life in danger like that.
Yeah.
And there is no doubt that once he had handcuffs, he was not a threat anymore.
Right.
And that's where that line is drawn. And I know it's before, you can't say somebody is convicted before they're proven guilty, but boy, it sure looks like that's coming.
Yeah.
So
A bad situation.
it is. It is. Let's see here. You know, we brought this up before. When it will happen, we don't know. But the United States is back in Ukraine. And as we all know, somebody in that War Department up there always likes a little picking a fight with somebody somewhere. Now, Russia is involved in this. This probably won't be the one that happens. This is just a show and tell for Joe. But eventually they'll find something to pick on somebody about.
Yeah.
Too many contracts involved for them not to. Just a thought there. We don't have any big, I know a lot of church services will be firing off really early this weekend, you know, for sunrise services. Is there any events going on that I'm not aware of that's happening that's going to happen like tomorrow for the weekend?
Not that I'm aware of.
If you know of something, post that so we can share that with everybody, because I got behind this week with the weather that came through of digging around searching for all the events in the area. So
Yeah.
my apologies for not being 100% sure.
Not that I'm aware of, but now I might have missed something too. So I just know it's supposed to be a pretty weekend, and everybody's talking about that and how they're going to enjoy it. So, and I'm hoping that we can. You know, I'm hoping that I can get, you know, Alden outside and let him hunt some eggs.
All I know is my wife, which is also known as Angie Ray, needs to remove some chickens from the house today. Her chicken coop needs to be finished.
Yeah,
She started out with a little bitty fellas. Well, I got up and
they're big now.
Yeah.
big. Y'all would. Well, I don't know if we could even handle them now because they're so
you
big.
can, if you hold on to them, they won't get away
But
from
they
you.
are like this big now, where they were little bitty things when we had them in here.
3 weeks, maybe.
I
And
love the ones with the little top notch thing on their head.
she built a little cage because it's been too. They're going out today
Mm-hmm.
because it'll be warm in their new coop for them to lay eggs. But I walked by last night. I had a cup of coffee and I was standing there watching. You ever heard of pecking order? Well, I know what that is now. There was some little chicken in the corner, and this bigger chicken was over there and just pecking him in the head.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, for like 3 minutes. And like, dude, when you get out there, I ain't gonna be able to help you.
So, I mean, was he trying to kill him?
No, just letting him know, I guess, that he's a notch above him. But the same spot in that little chicken's head, he was like that. I felt for the little critter there.
So, if Scotty Ray got your back turned, laying in the bed, and Angie starts tapping on your head,
Pecking order.
she's letting you know.
Pecking order. But chickens have been fun to watch. And I think she said it'd be 4 months before you get an egg out of this.
Okay.
It's a bigger investment than I wanted to make
But
here.
I love the ones that you couldn't really tell it when we had the little ones in here, but they've got. I wish I could find. I'm gonna have to pull up Angie's picture in a minute of the one she put on Facebook. There's one that looks like a bald eagle with a.
Let me see if I can find that. He's got the hair that goes up in his head like that. That's what I know. Let me see if I can find.
Here it is.
You got it. See if you can get that up
Let's
there
see.
to the.
Hold on. Can y'all see this?
That is.
And then let's see. Another one.
Yeah. Here's the big picture of that.
Yeah,
I
you
got
can
that.
pull it
I
up.
got that pulled up here.
She had the other one too, where it was a.
He's gonna have
Solid
a
white.
hairdo before it's over.
Yeah. It looks like a bald eagle that somebody got a hold of it with some clippers.
Yeah.
And look at that one.
Now here's this fella here. But they're like
Oh, gosh.
major
That's
bigger
so
than this
funny.
now.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. They're bigger. I mean, like by the day they get bigger.
They're starting to scare me like they're going to take over. So they got to go outside is all I know. I understood they were little and needed to be warm until she got the coop finished. But
They'll
18 of them
survive.
critters.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's all I got to say.
Be playing that. I will survive.
It is.
They'll be fine.
Oh, so we'll check on that. I'll let you know progress of what goes on with the big chickens as they make their way across the fence here at the house. It's something else.
They're cute though. They are.
As you're planning your weekend, you're going to be busy doing things. The Lauderdale County Farm Supply invites you by. Here they go with everything that they've got going on. I was there yesterday afternoon, and they do have a lot going on. I checked on their chickens. They got a heap of chickens. If you're wanting chickens for yourself, go down and talk to them. They'll make you a deal on some chickadees. They're about this size still here. This was just taken recently. They've got them when you go in the front door. Take a look at them there, and they'd love to come home with you.
You know what? When I was little, I had chickens like this, but I got a pink one and a blue one at Easter.
Yeah.
And my mother gave them to me. Of course, then they went through the chain link fence and the dog ate them.
Oh, boy.
Right in front of me. That was
Terrifying
as
a child.
That was horrible. But, I mean, like in one big gulp, just gone. And I was,
The moral to the story is keep that away from your pup.
That's right. Yeah. It was a big, huge dog in my grandparents' backyard. But anyway, these are cute.
They are.
I wonder if I could dye a couple of them.
I guess you can do that, can't you?
I guess. I mean, I guess you just take food coloring.
Never
rub it
dyed a
on 'em.
chicken before.
Oh, that'd be awful. If I
But
did.
they've got yard ornaments included in this at the farm supply. Drop in to see them today. Exit 151 off that interstate. Whatever you're looking for, from steel chickens to real chickens. How about that? Get yourself a goat there. And, of course, they've got plenty of plants. They really got that going on. It was heated in there when I walked in to make sure that nothing would pass away last night. They had it all prepared. As you look at your plants, they're gorgeous. They'll be ready for you to get after it tomorrow morning if you want to go by in the morning and visit with them and get you some. Gorgeous plants. Ferns, if you need a fern for Sunday. Got that, of course. All your trees and all of your grass, centipede by the roll, St. Augustine, if you need that. All of your snake repellent. If you want to make sure you got grandkids or you've got small kids and you don't want to take a chance.
Right.
Put a lot of that out. Ants. We can't say enough about getting rid of those right now. Plenty of repellent to put on those. And, of course, disinfectant. Boots starting at $99. Some Georgia
those.
boots. Yeah, that's a handy boot there. Keep your feet dry.
I like those.
Also, all of your seed feed, taking care of your horse and cattle, and a gun department there at the Lauderdale County Farm Supply. Exit 151, drop in and visit with them today. They'll make you a deal on something that you need, I'm sure, for the weekend. World leaders are starting, if you'll notice, not to wear masks. Of course, here in Meridian area, we finally got it to where it's not a mandate. It's just strongly recommended, so you can now start easing around in most businesses without it.
I went in Walmart yesterday and I asked when we walked in the door, like I said.
What did they say?
Well, I said, do I need to wear this or do I have to wear this? And she said no. So Walmart, is not requiring it anymore. So, because, I guess if a business says you still got to wear it, you got to.
It's private property at the end of the day.
Or you're supposed to, So.
But so you can go in without it there. That's good to know.
Yeah.
So most places are easing up. As Joe continues to wear this, and of course, he jumped on. Is it the Texas Rangers that they've opened up the state of Texas to play ball and will let as many people they won't play come in to watch? He's jumping on them. But even Queen Elizabeth, as you see Joe there in the latest picture, still wearing his. Queen Elizabeth, she's done dropped it.
Yeah.
She's rolling on.
I can't stand it. I hope we don't have to go back to wearing it as a mandatory thing.
Yeah.
But I'm just so over it. I don't know.
I still say Joe wears his because the people around him tell him to. Can't think for himself. This caused quite a stir in the United States, and I'm glad that it did. Nike actually stood up and sued that company that altered the shoes and sold them for this whatever his name is that done the little one saying with
Lil Nas.
Lil Nas, is that his name?
Nas, yeah, I think so.
Who hung out with Billy Ray Cyrus and sang the song Old Town Road. And if that doesn't make you not ever want to listen to the song again, there's nothing in this world that will. But made devil shoes. Nike has sued this guy here to stop the sale of it. And the court agreed with them, and they won the case, so he can no longer sell them. Not sure 100% if any of them were shipped or not, but in the end, that will make the shoes that much more valuable and sought after because of what's going on with this.
I'm surprised people have not targeted him to, not allow him on music things. And
well, he fits their agenda, so they're not going to do that.
I just can't.
That's what they want in the end, and I've told y'all many, many times of what the big picture is. So, but Nike did stop that. We have to say kudos for Nike for doing that.
Yes.
And you know, I saw this on Charles on Little House on the Prairie one time. The whole episode was about some parents that were killed, and it was 2 or 3 kids that were left over. That's a bad way to word that. I didn't mean it the way it sounded, but left behind by the parents. And Charles wanted to make sure that the kids stayed together.
Right.
And there was a guy that come over that wanted only to adopt a son, and the reason he wanted to do that was to work him on the farm.
Yeah.
He didn't want the 2 little girls. He only wanted that boy to work him like a dog. And so this is heart-touching that a family would do this. They were getting ready to, to retire, and it was 7 children that were orphaned, and a family took them in to keep them together. Do you realize how big of that would be huge to handle 7 children? You go from 0 to 7 like that.
Yes. But, I mean, thank God for people like this, because, you know, that would be horrible to have brothers and sisters and you all be torn apart.
Yeah.
I mean, you suffer the loss of your parents, which is a tragic thing.
Right.
And then you would, you know, suffer the loss of your, you know, family. So.
That's in California, but, you know, not everybody could do that.
Yeah. Thank goodness there's people that could. But that is a big thing to take on, you know.
It is. If we go down to Florida, she's still there. They tried to paint a bad picture of this woman. Horrible, because she was gun-toting, and then she did in the beginning have some links to QAnon, and a lot of people believed all of that. And she was elected for that now in Georgia. But she's been down in Florida, and she says, meet him. He's here. He's going to lead us in 2022 and take it back in 24. She is down with the president, Marjorie Greene. So she's still supportive. She hadn't backed up any. That's a picture of him and her.
I mean, I think it's just like the Gates guy. I mean, I think they really tried to rake her over the coals and make her out to be a lot worse, you know, and stuff like that. I just think she speaks her mind, and they don't like it. But that's how they are with everybody right now. So. And,
you know, you brought him up. Here's the latest headline on this. And again, I have not dug deep enough into this, but most everybody is saying they think that the first charges were made up. Well, that didn't stick, so now they're going, okay, he showed some nude photos of some women on the Senate floor to some other guys. They're doing anything to try to destroy this old boy here. They're going after him hard and heavy.
Yeah.
So, again, I don't know the details, but read into a story before you 100% believe it is what I'm saying when it comes to politics.
I don't know that if I was in politics in Washington or anywhere, I don't think I would trust anybody. And to tell them anything, if it was anything, you know, that I didn't want anybody else to know, I definitely would not tell them.
But think about this as you're sitting at home. We have a lot of good people in this country that could probably serve, but there's a lot of people that won't step up because they see what happens to other people. Yeah. The good of the land is no longer. We're almost infiltrated. Is that the word? With people that are dishonest, that will do anything to get their way in politics, and they ruin good people that could help us. And so it keeps a certain great person from ever wanting to serve their country. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I know exactly what you're saying. I mean, there's people who won't. I mean, there's no limit to what level they'll stoop down to try to get their way, like you said. And I think that's exactly what's going on right now in our country. Just like the press secretary, Jen Psaki.
Yeah.
Yesterday, the guy was asking her, it was one of the news reporters, and he was asking her about the 2 children who were dropped over the wall.
Right.
You know, asking about what is the administration going to do about stuff like this happening. And, I mean, she kind of just, I don't know, she tries to make the reporters, like if it's something like that they want the answer to and they keep pressing for an actual answer, she just makes them tries to make them look like an idiot. You know, she was like, well, are you asking because you're worried about the children? Or are you asking because you're worried about more children coming in? Or, you know, are you worried about the welfare of the children?
That's good.
I mean, the question was obvious what he wanted to know about. Like, what are you going to do about this? Because the administration, to me, is the cause of these children being dropped over the wall like that. And there's coyotes, they call them, you know, who are picking these children up.
How old were those little kids that got dropped?
2 and 5, I think, or 3 and 5. But the first one, you could tell the child. I mean, they said it was like 15 feet that child was dropped.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
that could break your legs easily.
Oh well, the child he laid there for a second because when he fell, He like almost fell on his like stomach, and so well, it like he looked hurt because it took him a minute just to get.
I've seen the video of I guess it's the night vision. I hadn't seen a close up.
That's the one.
Horrible.
And then the guys just run up the hill after they drop them over the thing. Just
this
leave
is
them
what
there.
this has happened. All this attention of you're going to get into our country brings.
Well, they claim that the Border Patrol people got the 2 kids.
And that's
and
good.
They're okay now. But do you know how many times that probably happens a day? And these kids are just picked up by sex traffickers or
Whoever.
or whatever.
There's not always cameras where
Right.
people are dropped.
That's
that just
right.
happen to be in a location.
It's awful. Horrible.
Another cop has been put on desk duty as we go to this one here. This happened at a gas station. Now, I think it originally started over the guy was not supposed to be riding a four-wheeler on a public road, and he pulls up to the gas station on a four-wheeler. Cop comes over. They get into a fight, and he decks him, the teenager, and then he cuffs him after that. So striking a teenager over a four-wheeler is not going over real well in Texas. So he's been put on desk duty until they investigate this more.
Right. Did you see where the professor who about the transgender
Where he
person,
sued,
he won.
he did win?
He won it. He won his
I did not
case.
see the follow-up.
And they said the reason that they won was because you can't force somebody to say things that there's freedom of speech. So you can't force them to say the things because they said, where does that end? You know, you could force later on, if you enforce that, you could force Christians to say that they don't believe in God. You could force, which, don't get me wrong, I feel like that's where we're headed.
Oh, this is the new America. If you took a snapshot, your values just keep being pushed, and until you stand up and go, "Whoa, you're not doing that. That's not right." So many Americans have just gotten real lax over the years, and they take the standpoint of, "Well, it's not affecting me. It's okay. I'm just going to mind my own little business." But at some point, for the good of America, you have to stand up and go, "No, this is wrong. I'm not going to put up with this." And you have to elect people that will stop it and be the voice for you in those areas.
Right.
Go to city hall meetings when something happens in a town where you live, whether it's Meridian or if you're watching from New York. Go to these things.
Yeah.
Express your opinion, because if you don't talk, it's never going to change.
Well, people are different, and that's fine. People are different from other people.
And you can have a different
That is
opinion.
fine. You can be who you want to be. You know, you can do what you want to do, but you don't have to force somebody else
That's
to go
correct.
along with it. because that does violate our rights.
Right.
And so I'm glad that he won his case, because I'm hoping that's a start to many other people, taking a stand and trying to, win their case, because this is becoming like a fad.
It makes you wonder how history will look back on these moments of what has happened over the last 3 to 4, especially since the pandemic hit. It's going to be interesting to see where this goes.
Yeah.
So that's in the news. Let's see what else has happened here. If you're in Egypt today, I don't think I see anybody watching from Egypt at this point.
Yeah.
But if you get into history, this is a pretty neat thing. They're going to parade 22 pharaohs today in golden. These are the pharaohs here, and they're going to haul them around in golden chariots as a display for Easter this weekend. Interesting, all of this stuff they keep finding.
That is interesting.
More and more pyramids, and like the Colosseum they dug up in Turkey last week.
Oh, yeah, that was neat. That was really neat. Now, I like stuff like that.
Yeah. And I've never been to Rome to see the Colosseum. I think that'd be pretty neat. But this one is a smaller version that would hold 20,000 if you're just watching, and still intact.
That is so neat. I hope we see more pictures of it as they unveil it.
How do you, Texas, your medical examiner is supposed to be, as you watch, what's the guy that always does the autopsies of the famous people, and he's had all those HBO specials?
I can't think of his name, but I know who you're talking about. I cannot think of his name.
And it's kind of like the show The Last 24 Hours. It's always good stuff. He's good at what he does. This medical examiner, not so much.
Yeah.
He couldn't find a bullet in a body, and they've dug back into it, and he's made 59 mistakes on the last 27 autopsies. He's suspended.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like he will
We might need
probably.
to find him another job somewhere, doing something else.
He's supposed to be the best of the best when you do that for a living. I really can't imagine being. It's Marl Cobbler here, isn't it? I can't imagine doing that for. That just wouldn't be my thing.
Yeah, it would not be my thing either.
Nor could I be the guy that goes and picks up someone for the funeral home. Nope, not me.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that do that.
Yeah, they do. I could, that ride back, I couldn't do it.
Just and then
I'm glad that there are people
Yeah.
who do that. Thank goodness for them.
I am not a crime scene investigator. Let me go ahead and throw that out there.
Yeah.
Ooh, never,
There's
never,
no
never.
telling what these people see.
No, and that would have to at some point make you kind of numb to everyday life being around. You know, if you were a murder investigator.
Yeah. But thank goodness there's people who actually do autopsies and do them right.
To find out what
Right,
happened.
because
to bring,
a lot of people are, they're left wondering what happened.
Yeah.
So,
just ain't for us.
right.
That's all I'm saying. Let's see. Trump says if something isn't done, America is turned into a communist country with the censorship. And what he's referring to is the interview that he did with his daughter-in-law. Facebook, YouTube, all blocked it.
Well, to
Wouldn't
me,
let it air.
To me, that's just as bad as trying to force somebody to say something.
It is.
You're taking their voice away. So I wish somebody would take a stand about this and do something about it. I hope if he brings his network or whatever he's talking
Social
about,
network.
a social network out, I hope that it's untouchable, and I hope that he can do pretty much what he wants. And other conservative people or other people who want their voice heard who have been silenced
Can go there.
can go there. I mean, I really do, because I think he'll do well with it.
What was it? Over 100 million people followed him on. I know one of them had 84 million, another one had over 100 million followers for Trump. And if you start a social network, you go back and what is it? Parler that was shut down because another platform had access to their servers, limited them.
Well, I cannot believe they're still doing this mess when they're pretty much on like a trial thing right now, and they're questioning them about this actual stuff,
Doesn't matter.
And they're just keeping on doing it.
They have their agenda.
Like they're untouchable.
They are at this point. They are very powerful people right now. But, all of that can change. As we know, as technology changes, everything can change at the drop of a hat, and somebody can be bigger than you if you're not watching your P's and Q's, and you make enough people angry, they will find something that suits them.
Well, like we said not long ago, what goes up must come down eventually. So,
Tiffany Forrest just asked, is there any updates on the wreck on 494? Let me check, see if no updates yet. The last I got was that it was injuries with it, but nothing new. That's Highway 494 in between Highway 19 and Little Rock, Mississippi. And if you do know something, have some updates you can pass along to us, we would appreciate that.
yes.
Police are on the scene, the last report I got. Let's see here. Donna Peebles is watching this morning. Let's see here. What'd she say there?
She said she hates getting behind a hearse, driving, I guess, and seeing their feet sticking straight up, that it's spooky. I've not ever seen that.
The one that comes and picks you up. Oh,
Yeah. I've been behind a hearse, but it's usually going to, a funeral or something.
Yeah, she's talking about that one that comes there and picks you up there. And sometimes it's a minivan.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it happens. But there's good people that do that for a living.
Yes, thank goodness.
Ooh.
Thank goodness.
Let's see here. Good morning to Karen Hurt. Thank you for watching. We appreciate that. Sue Jarrell, is that how you pronounce that? Want to make sure I'm right on that. Good morning to you. Joyce Godwin is watching. Also, Linda Culpepper. She hopes everybody has a fantastic Good Friday. Barbara Vick is up watching.
Yes.
Miss
Well, I was going to say, Deborah J. asked a question. She wanted to know if Angie has the what's called the bell-bottom chickens, which I think she's probably talking about silkies, because I think they have the feathers on their feet.
Okay.
So
She does have silkies.
She does have
Yeah.
silkies. Okay.
2, 3, or 4 of them, but I couldn't
Okay.
tell you what they look like.
Well, you know how they have the little thing on the top
Yeah.
of their head? Well, they're things on their feet.
What have we gotten into around this house?
They're cute, but anyway.
So that's what's going on at my household.
Yes.
Let's see, Linda Jane, have grandkids. Is there Easter Bunny anywhere? Does anybody know where the Easter Bunny is going to be this weekend? We have somebody that would love to take their grandchildren to go see them.
I'm not sure. My daughter took my grandson, I think it was to a church somewhere. So somebody
Had the bunny?
Yeah, but I can't remember where it was. Usually he's at our mall, but I don't know if he's at the mall this year with the virus stuff going on. But check with the mall, because he might be there.
Yeah. So if anybody knows Bunny, let us know more information because I really hadn't seen that.
Yeah. Anyway,
I was thinking years ago I've seen him out at the Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville in the past. I just hadn't heard that this year. Joe, tell me some news.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Road rage is another thing that happens in the United States more than it should. You're minding your own business. You're going down the road. Here's an example of that. A guy that's 29 years old kills a wife because the husband accidentally cut him off in a lane merge. It happens. That's life. This is a guy that done the murder here. He's been arrested. This is the mother that lost her life. She was in the car with the husband. Why? It was senseless.
Yeah.
That should have never happened. So, and that's in California is where that happened, Northern California. A lot goes on out there in California. This is something, I'm going to let you kind of take lead on this because you've talked about these instances.
Oh, the Uber drivers?
Yeah.
I never really thought about it like this until I saw this. But there is, what is it? He's charged,
this is in Boston.
Councilwoman's brother, 39, is charged with raping 9 women after he was posing as a Uber driver. Now, I guess you feel like people most of the time would feel pretty safe thinking, I'm just going to go from here to there. He's going to pick me up. What would you do if you're sitting there in the back and he just takes another route and he's not, and just goes on the outskirts of town somewhere or something? I mean, anything could happen. It's just kind of like we're too trusting.
Now, this is the guy that's been arrested and filmed it on top of it of all the rape. So there's evidence to back all of this up. He should go to jail for a long time.
That's awful.
Watch this when you travel these large cities here. Never, as you said, I never really thought of that of being a serious.
Right.
But that could be.
Because, anybody could be an Uber driver.
Yeah.
I don't know, do they do background checks on people like that? I don't know that. So.
Because they use their own car, it's going to look like normal Joe there.
Right. So, they could have a camera in the car that you don't know about.
And it would be kind of obvious if you're a criminal to pick out somebody standing on a street corner waiting for. But, Uber also sends, I think they send a picture of your driver. A lot of people, that your car is within 2 minutes of you, and it's a little tracker that you can see it coming there. And it's supposed to show you a picture of your driver. And if that doesn't match, don't get in that car.
Yeah,
but
it's
a
scary.
criminal will watch somebody. You can tell when they're standing on a street corner waiting for something, and they pull up, and you're in a hurry. You'll jump in the car. Don't do that.
Right. Because they could have I don't know if Uber drivers have a symbol on the outside of their car or.
No, they don't.
It's a scary time. So.
It is just like your car out there, and you just pull up and.
Right.
And
that's scary.
The last time I hired somebody like that, I was in Houston, didn't have a car, couldn't get a rental car. And I had to go up toward Conroe, and I hired somebody to take me.
Well, I remember being in Texas one time. I've never ridden in a cab until then.
It's different, isn't it?
I'm going to tell you, I was a nervous wreck because, I was thinking that they would pick us up and we would go to wherever. Well, I didn't realize they were going to be picking other people up while we were still in the car.
Oh, so you have several.
It was 3 of us in the back seat. And then they pull over and pick 2 other guys up, and they got in the front seat with him. And they were giggling and cutting up and just acting like they were on something the whole time. It made me a nervous wreck. I thought they're going to kill us all.
All about the money. So, he made several dollars off of that trip.
So anyway, I didn't realize there's trackers in all those cabs out there. They have a tracker thing. So if somebody was to steal it, they know where it's at all times.
Yeah.
But we finally got rid of those people that were in the front seat, the crazy ones. And so I said, are you not scared? People like that, are you not afraid? And so he picks up a sawed-off shotgun from the left side of his seat and says, no, I ain't scared. So, anyway, but that would be, and he was he looked to be in his 70s,
Right.
It was an older man.
LaWanda said that when you get into these cars, and I hadn't even thought about it, make sure that child lock is off when you're getting in the back seat, because you're trapped if not.
Well, if you think about it, if it's a real sicko, and this is his agenda, what he wants to do,
windows locked,
he could have the car customized for
Well, you can hit
just
a
that
button and rate.
purpose, and you don't ever know. I mean, he could lock you in there. He could,
And the divider
scary.
in between the front and the back, you can throw up hit a button. They design these in cars now that blocks the front from the back, that cage.
I'm not trying to down Uber drivers. Let me say that. I think it's a great, thing
Right.
that they've come up with. I'm just saying, make sure it's a Uber driver,
Yeah.
and you kind of taking a chance, I guess, when you do something like that. But
And then also at airports, you'll catch on to this. There's a lot of guys that don't, because they have to give a cut of it to Uber. There's a lot of guys that use their car and they just pull up and go, hey, do you want to ride, without going through that service.
just make sure you're with an actual Uber driver, and that, like Scotty Ray says, if they send you a picture of the driver, make sure that's the actual person that's driving your car. 'Cause it could be a weirdo.
It could be.
So, yes.
As we get sunshine today, there's one thing that's going to happen after all this rain. Your grass is going to grow 3 to 4 inches in between now and tomorrow morning. There's no doubt that's going to happen. Our friends out at Freeman Tractor, Coleslaw and Buttermilk are there to show you. I'm telling you, you want to talk about lawnmowers leaving there. I was out with them the other afternoon, and I know 3 lawnmowers left within that hour that I was hanging around doing nothing, just shooting the breeze with them. People are ready to buy lawnmowers, and they've got so many. They got in a shipment yesterday afternoon. So if you're needing the Cheetahs came in. This is the X Mark. Still those to choose from. $29.99 is what they start at. Different sizes, horsepower, widths. You can get all the way up to a 60-inch cut. That does a big swipe. New load of these just arrived yesterday. Those Cheetah 2s and the Tiger Cat 2s. New loads of those. Go by and see those. You'll enjoy them there. New tractors expect also to arrive next week. They'll be rolling in. Cab air conditioning.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That'd be really nice.
Radio. I remember as a kid riding that old tricycle tractor, making $2 an hour. Didn't know what no cabin air was. You could get the bush hog on the front along with all of your attachments, and this is galvanized where your implements will not rust. A new thing. That's nice.
That's good.
Who always had to weld all their stuff, all this, because you leave grass and it rusts. That'll take care of you. Disc, we've got forks, we've got it all, including new benchies there with financing available. If you want to get cab air conditioner, they've got that. The 550 series, you can get these with GPS on it in case you get lost out in the woods looking at timber. Take you right back where you started. The benchies, they're made in Texas, and they've got them for you at Freeman Tractor. Drop in and see Buttermilk or Cole today. They'll help you out there on 494.
I bet they are selling the fire out of some lawnmowers now.
Ooh, it's popular right now.
Yeah.
Because everybody's guilty. If you want to run that lawnmower that you got right now till it absolutely can't do no more. And when it reaches that moment, Freeman is there. And then also they've got a great service department. If you need a little tinkering done on yours, they also do that. Blades, oil, good stuff for you there.
Everything in one stop.
It is. It is Friday morning. It almost feels like a Saturday morning to a degree because most people have the day off.
Yesterday felt like Friday, and last week too. I felt like Thursday was Friday. It just seemed like the whole day. I mean, I kept thinking, I ain't got to go to work. I made my deposit on Thursday that I normally made on Friday.
Yeah.
It was weird, but yeah. A lot of people are off today, or I know they're out of school, so.
But again, as we say today, remember what it's all about this weekend, Easter. Jesus Christ gave his life for all of us so that we could live forever, for eternity. And eternity is a long time, if y'all don't know that.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if any of y'all ever follow, her name is Karen Wheaton.
What does she do?
She's on Facebook. I don't know if she pastors a church over in Alabama, but look her up, Karen Wheaton. She's always she has a message for that, like a daily message video. She's real encouraging, and she calls it that God gave her a word for you. And so she tells you, and she's very encouraging. So if y'all have not looked her up, look her up. And last night I was watching a video, and there's always these negative people that are going to pop on and make a comment
absolutely.
all the time. And so one lady said, I find it hard to believe that God talks to you. She said, sorry. That was her comment. And I thought, I mean, she could have been really ugly when she answered her, but she didn't. She had a lot of grace, and she gave her an encouraging comment back. It wasn't anything ugly, but you're going to encounter, is what I'm getting at. You're going to encounter people like that throughout your life. And on a daily basis, probably somebody's going to be negative, hopefully not every day. But when you do, try to have some grace. you know, instead of popping back at them, you know, give them an encouraging word, because people like that, to me, I feel like are unhappy with themselves, you know, and they obviously have not had God speak to them, because I mean, a lot of times it's just an overwhelming feeling that you get when God is talking to your heart, you know, about something you need to do or you need to say. And, you know, there's people who don't believe in that.
There is,
but it's an
unfortunately.
actual thing, and we know that God is this. So just, you know, I'll go around about in a circle to say, you know, just encourage other people. And this is a weekend that we really need to be doing that, you know.
It is.
And every day. But
I've
try to have grace.
often thought about how Candace would do as your next Ann Landers. I can see this now. Dear Candace, my boyfriend left me. What do I do? And she answers, too bad.
No, I don't know.
Do you give
I mean,
good advice in those situations?
Do I give good advice?
Right,
on that?
right. When your friend comes to you and says, oh, he's doing me
Look,
wrong.
there was a time when I probably would have really ran it. I mean, now don't get me wrong. I mean, I blow up and lose my cool, but there was a time where I blew up and lost my cool a lot. But I try not to let stuff like that bother me as much now. But if I was to give somebody advice, it would be glad you dodged a bullet and just move on with your life, because they don't deserve you, you know.
But, you know, the big thing of, like, sometimes, and this goes on that advice of somebody that you just fell in love with, you thought they were the greatest thing, and for whatever reason they leave you. You don't really know the true blessing of why they left you.
Right.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Well, yes, I do.
It's unanswered prayers is what that really is.
I was going to say that song that Garth Brooks had out. I mean, you thank God for unanswered prayers. Because a lot of times you pray for the wrong thing. Just because it's something you want, it doesn't mean what you're meant to have.
That's right.
And so I believe when God takes something out of your path, he's opening the door for you a new path. And, you know, I believe that. So, and I feel like everything happens for a reason. So.
Kathy Bounds mentioned it's that little small voice that you get.
Yes, it is. It's like I mean, it is. It's not always just like, hello, this is God. You know, I mean, it's not going to be that. And everybody is different. I believe
you have to learn to listen to God, to know that when it really is God. You know what I mean by that?
Right. But I mean, I see God in everything. Like, I was sitting at a red light the other day, and I saw there was like some grass with some flowers just sitting there swaying. And my thought in my head was, you know, most people look at that and go, look at the grass. But I look at it and I'm like,
I got to cut that.
No, I mean, I was just sitting there going, isn't God great?
He is.
Isn't God? I mean, to me, little things like that make us appreciate God. Because, I mean, it's just the beauty of every day.
And, you know, and most people come to God, and this is what he wants. During your darkest hour is when God will allow you to be broken so that you will come to him and ask for help.
That's right.
And then slowly your faith builds and your life gets better. And it's amazing. Now, I'm not going to tell you that while you're trying to grow along there that times aren't going to get bad, because you know who's mad? Oh, devil. He's wanting to get back in there and mess it up again. So temptation comes as you try to get along and do better in life. He's going to throw some curveballs. And it's a test. It's a test from God as well to see how strong your faith is.
Well, life is a series of trials, like I said the other day. And so many times throughout my life, I've always heard, you know, God's not going to give you more than you handle. But yes, he is. He's going to give you more than you can handle, because you're not meant to do it by yourself.
You got to have it.
You know, you're not meant to do it alone. And, you know, a lot of times people say, well, you know, I talked to God and this still happened. And things are going to happen. And you're going to have to learn to deal with these things, but still trust in God. Because, like we said, you're going to have trials. And, you know, it's just... You just got to learn to trust,
you know,
and put your faith in him and give him your whole heart, not just give him just a little bit. You got you got to be totally like vulnerable and open up to God and let him in. You just got to lay it down. If you've got something that is really laying on your heart or causing you hard feelings, or like it could be somebody you can't stand, you know, and that you ain't never going to talk to again. I've heard that so many times. And I'll tell people, you know, you still got to forgive them and move on.
Don't mean you got to hang out with them every day.
That's right. It doesn't. But for your heart to heal, you have to forgive them and move on. You know.
Eugene Alexander said, show them some Jesus.
That's right.
Nothing wrong with that. And Tiffany Farr said her nephew is going to be baptized on Sunday. So that's great.
It is.
But and I prayed, before I started this, and I cannot tell a lie. Dylan Ray come to me and wanted me to start this, and I blew it off at first, and then he come back to me. I prayed every day hard to change my situation in life where I was, and it took me 2 years before this was developed. Right. And there is no doubt that I would not be here without Jesus Christ of providing this for me, because this was nothing more than an idea.
Yeah.
And it is an opportunity to bring people to Christ that need to be in direction. It helps people. And I do believe this is what I was supposed to do, and I think it's all led by God. Am I still a sinner? Absolutely, folks.
We all are. But, I think we had a story, and I had brought it out yesterday, that I was not married when I had my youngest child. And I really didn't know what to do.
Stop. Go ahead and say, thank you, Scotty Ray.
Thanks.
I got her married.
Yeah, I'm married now. But I wasn't married. I was not a married woman when I had Alden. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I mean, I had children that looked up to me, and I was like, I'm really a good person, And I felt broken. I felt...
Well, just spit it out, girl. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with a tear. Nothing at all. While you're gathering your thoughts there, Tabby Jo Long mentioned, she said that, amen, he gives us grace and mercy and picks us up. When we mess up, he does. It's a forgiving God that loves us and never forsakes. Yeah. We just have to accept him. And thank you, Tabby. I appreciate you posting that. I'm
sorry, y'all. I'm human. I have feelings.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
I cry at the drop of a hat. But anyway, I felt broken. I really did. I felt, I can remember I went to ball games and watched my daughter cheer. And, I felt like people were talking about me and stuff like that, but they were not. It was the devil playing with my mind.
I think it's because you had something on your shirt and they hadn't told you.
It really was. It was the devil playing with my mind, and he will do that. In your most vulnerable times, he'll try to ease in and take over. But, I had so many people come up to me and say, oh, you just look so beautiful, pregnant, and you just look like, you just are glowing and stuff like that when I was pregnant. It made me feel so much better. But after I had Alden, he was the biggest blessing to me. He has been the biggest blessing. I started back going to church, then it turned my life around.
Yeah.
I mean, it really did. It opened my eyes to so much, that I had my eyes closed to for years. That where I felt like I wasn't good enough, I realized, I was. I mean, I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. I know there's somebody out there listening right now who probably needs to hear all of this, even though I feel like I'm sobbing in front of everybody. But, God has a purpose for everybody.
Absolutely, he does.
He has a plan. He has a purpose. And if you just open your heart to him, it's going to be revealed to you at some point. That purpose that you are here on this earth for will be revealed to you. And I feel like my purpose was to be a mother to my kids, even though, I've made mistakes and stuff like that. And my purpose is to just and speak about my testimony.
Yeah, you have to.
People. I've told my other customers sometimes, but, just trust in God. I know
that's okay.
I've ran on about it, but give God whatever you're worrying about. Just turn it over.
He'll help you out there. If you need a church, go visit my friends up at Northcrest Baptist Church.
Yes.
Brother Paul will be glad to help you out there this Sunday.
Yes.
Get you down, get you baptized. Wade, all those good folks, and of course, Brother Danny. Know a lot of good folks there. Join us. Today is Good Friday. You've got the day off as we go into Easter. Make sure to go to church if you can there. It'll be a wonderful thing. And we want to say thank you to each and every one of you again for coming and watching this morning. Share this with a friend so that they can see it. More people will know about it. All you have to do is go up and click share at the right-hand side of the screen, and then there's another button where you can invite the friends that follow you to find the page. And we appreciate that.
We do. We appreciate all of you.
So, and thank you, Carolyn Knight, for posting that. She said that we're a blessing. We appreciate you making that statement. It means
y'all
a lot
are a blessing
from us.
to us, too, every day. I mean, the comments and the sharing, like he said, of the page and everything. It's a blessing. This is a blessing for me to be here.
And and the people that sponsor our page, they're Christians. They're local folks. They're Christians. They go to church with you. Support them when you can, because they have the same beliefs you do right here in Meridian.
That's right.
Well, we're going to conclude this morning and say thank you for joining us. And we're going to dry her shirt off here in just a second.
I've
here.
got my tears on my shirt.
There's nothing wrong with
little
tears of joy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Nothing to apologize for.
Yes.
But we say thank you to you. And I'll be back later with updates. And, of course, I'll always be here in the mornings at 6:30. And then we'll be back Monday morning. School will be out, but we'll be here nonetheless.
That's right. Y'all have a wonderful, blessed weekend.
And we do appreciate it.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by